And when we whoop enough ass, everybody gonna get in line and do right.
All right, peace and blessings, assalamu alaikum, shalom, welcome everyone. We are live. This is our third program on the fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are on chapter 2, and we are with our co-host Mayat. Peace and blessings, Queen. It's good to have you on the program again. Good to be back with you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone.
All right, so we are on chapter 2, Dawn of a New Day.
Yep, dawn of a new day. Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. And we are about to rip into chapter 2. This, ever since we started this reading, it has really taken a lot out of me spiritually, mentally, and physically. I didn't realize it was going to be so heavy. I just know that when I do read, when I read books or speeches from Elijah Muhammad, I have a setback. I always sometimes it takes me days or even weeks to just digest the information because my spirit bears witness to a lot of what he says. A lot of confirmation comes to me from my independent research and self-study, constantly taking notes, going into the spiritual realm, and then just to read something that he said, and it's like electricity will just run through my body, and it's kind of hard for me to digest, and it just takes me to another place, and I have to calm down. And just going through it, especially with your energy and your masculine energy, your commentary, it has really been overwhelming. I am not gonna lie. This is overwhelming, but I'm built for this.
That's right.
I am 100% built for this, and I'm sure that when we finish this, I know there's no possible way that I could ever be the same. So what I wanted to ask you before we get into chapter 2 is, from chapter 1, what was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway from chapter 1, it was the justice part, where he said that Allah would use justice as a weapon, and being able in real time to look at the disasters, the tornadoes, the rains, the cold, the fires that is beseeched upon America on all sides. And when I look at that, and you hear Black people, we got to pray for America, we got to pray for our president, we got to pray this, we got to pray that, and understanding now that you wasting your time praying, because this is justice. This is what America earned by their mistreatment and abuse of us as a people. So you can save your prayers for something better, because this is what they've earned. And so understanding the history from which we came and seeing justice play out in front of our face is really amazing. It takes it even higher on a level of understanding that these words that are written in a book are more than just words. They're actual facts. There's real, because we get to bear witness and see for ourselves. And, no matter how many people pray for America and that America be delivered from tornadoes and all of that stuff, it's not going to happen, because they have no desire to do right by God's people. So the punishment that they've earned, we should rejoice and watch and see. We should be honestly rejoicing. In the church, They be getting up there and they be shouting, doing a little juke dance or whatever called shouting. Well, this is something to shout about. This is something to dance about. This is something to praise God about.
Mm-hmm.
America is reaping everything that she has sown. And so it is a good day. That's the thing that I got out. What about you?
So typically when I have lunch, like on my job, I stay to myself. I'm not a person that tends to be around groups. Like I will go and just sit to myself on my lunch break. And it was no coincidence that a coworker of mine, and I'm going to be very careful because I promised that I would not. I just don't want. I don't want to make it seem like she confided in me and I'm, sharing her story, but I'm just making a point. So I'm going to be very careful about what I say because you
Mhm.
never know. You never know who's going to come across the video. But it was no coincidence that out of nowhere she just came, literally walked up to me and told me about something that happened to her when she was a child. And not only did it happen to her, it happened to her sister. And the person who was involved was in a relationship with her mother. So this individual was violating the children. Read between the
Mm.
lines.
Wow.
And my first reaction was, well, is he dead now?
Mm.
And she was like, no, he's alive and well. And I said, well, is he in prison? And the answer was no. And I was torn by that because the mother was fully aware of it, but stood with her her significant other.
Ooh.
And I've been burdened by that ever since she
Mm.
told me that because justice and judgment, she didn't get it. And
Mm.
not only is she tormented, but her siblings are tormented as well. And so I was doing some meditation on her behalf last night, and I'm going to read to you what dropped in my spirit. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. And so, and I remember she was like, I told my mom what was going on, and nothing happened. And so I let her know last night through my meditation. I was like, well, God wanted you to get justice. God wanted you to get, God wanted this person to be judged for what they did to you all. But wickedness was standing in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me back to what Elijah Muhammad is saying. Like we're praying for a solution, and the solution has come, but wickedness is standing in the way. And a lot of people don't understand that the religion that has been imposed upon us, and even for us who accepted it willingly, it is a wickedness that is standing in the way of justice for us and judgment, for swift judgment, in my opinion, because it could come quicker. It
Mm.
could really come quicker, you know, on behalf of those who have been terrorists to our people. So I told her, I said, there's no coincidence that you told me this. I really believe this reading somehow just made her come to me for whatever reason. It's like I've been seeing a lot of supernatural things take place ever since we started. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really taken a lot out of me to where I crash when I go to sleep.
Mm.
So this is not a regular reading. This is definitely something that is going to take us to places that we got to be ready to go, whether we like it or not, because we already started and we will finish.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
Right.
That that is something. I was watching this video while I was at work, and it's called "The Devil's Half Acre" in Richmond, Virginia, and I definitely want to go there and see it. But this site was not only a jail for our ancestors, but also a breeding farm. And it talked about how the owner would molest the women, men, didn't matter. Just whatever they wanted to do, then our ancestors was their tool to get it done. And it didn't matter how young the child was. It didn't matter whether the man was enforced to impregnate his sister, his mother, his cousin. None of that mattered. And it's like those type of behaviors, unfortunately, some of our people have picked it up, and justice have never come. And at some point, in understanding and taking in all the hurt that our people go through, justice has to come,
It has to.
because this sickness has to be gotten rid of, has to go away.
It's only right.
Mm-hmm.
It's only right that, you know, justice does come.
Yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
I definitely want to take a look into that.
Most definitely.
So here we go. Chapter 2, Dawn of a New Day.
Okay.
America's burden in trying to protect herself from the attacking nations of the world is tremendous, one that she will not be able to carry. Therefore, she must succumb to the powerful forces that are coming against her. The fall of a nation makes way for another. As the earth continues, all nations and their civilizations are limited upon it, except the original nation, which takes on renewals and changes. Though
Mm,
in appearance America seems steadfast, she is moving towards an ultimate end. One great problem to be solved in the fall of America is the liberation of the so called American Negro, the lost and found people of the original Black nation of the earth. They have been here for 4 centuries, mistreated and brought into a state of corruption and shame. They now are being helped, although they are as blind mentally as someone is physically.
mm,
In all the preparations of the divine supreme being and the nation of righteousness to remove the enemy of God and the righteous from the earth, the poor so called American Negro cannot see it. I want to stop right there because that sentence I didn't fully understand. In number 3, it says, in all the preparations of the divine supreme being, meaning all the things that the supreme power is preparing to do, right? And
mm-hmm,
the nation of the righteous to remove the enemy, meaning us trying
mm-hmm,
to get this enemy out of our way. But he says, and the righteous from the earth. I think he meant to say, and the unrighteous. I think he's saying, and everything that God is trying to do, working with the righteous people who are us to remove the enemy who is the unrighteous from the earth, the poor so-called American Negro can't see it. You know, you have a group of people that can see what God is trying to do, and then you have a group of people that cannot see that he's trying to remove the unrighteous, the enemy of God from the earth.
mm-hmm.
Is what do you think? Do you think that second right that righteous is a mistake, or am I not understanding that?
And the righteous. Well, I can see where it could be a mistake. Um, But from my understanding, from reading it, is more of, from what I got out of it, it's more of bringing the righteous, like the in the Bible it talks about that they're in a shallow grave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that they're going to rise from their shallow grave. So I kind of took it as bringing the righteous from the earth, meaning that you're laid down there in the shallow grave because of the wickedness of the enemy. So by destroying, removing the enemy of God and bringing the righteous from the earth, bringing them up from their shallow grave. Um, that's how I took it.
Because I looked in the book to see if the book said the same thing, and it did. But I keep struggling with that sentence, and for me, I think it's might be a typo that reads to remove the unrighteous from the earth. So that's just what I wanted to bring out. So in the South, we saw Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., a graduate of theology, as I am told, on his knees begging the divinely condemned people, the white race, for brotherhood. You, the so called Negro, are too spiritually and mentally blind to see. Your heart is too hard against receiving the truth, and your ears are too thoroughly closed to the truth that God Allah has said the white race is a race of devils, created to be destroyed. This truth is verified in the Bible and the Holy Quran. Go back up to paragraph 1. You see in paragraph 1, he says, the fall of a nation makes way for another. As the earth continues, all nations and their civilizations are limited upon it, except the original nation, which takes on renewals and changes. When I always tell people, especially like a lot, my Bible thumping Christian um friends, family, and co-workers, like they would not shake this Christianity for nothing in the world. And sometimes they come to me and ask questions and they want to know my opinion on certain issues. And I don't have the same reaction as everybody else. Like, they believe in Jesus, they go to church every Sunday, they go to Bible study, they cling on to every word, but they walk around in fear. And so I'm just, I sit and I listen to them, but you don't get a reaction out of me because if you really believe what you believe, then Jesus is going to come save you. Then what are you fearing? Right. But I always tell them, I'm like, we have somewhere to go as original people of God,
Mm,
original people of this earth, indigenous people who are connected to the divine, who have
mm,
a soul connected to the sun. We have somewhere to go. When these white people die, these subspecies, these grafted individuals, they can't go where we go. There's
mm,
no I fully believe there's no reincarnation for them.
mm,
That's only reserved to us.
mm,
I really believe that. There's no way they're not going to the next realm where we going.
mm,
To me, there's just no possible way for that to happen. So
mm,
that stood out to me in paragraph 1. Like we are original people connected to the divine, and we do take on renewals and changes and go and come back from realm to realm. They cannot do that. They are a soulless people,
mm,
no soul whatsoever.
mm,
They don't even have a God to call on, none whatsoever. They think they do, but they don't.
mm,
They don't have a connection to God. It's impossible. They, as a matter of fact, he didn't even create them. That's how much he didn't even want them here with us.
mm,
He
mm.
knows how despicable they are.
Exactly. Exactly. And from there where it says America's burden in trying to protect herself from the attacking nations of the world is tremendous, one that she will not be able to carry. And when we look and understand what's going on in the world, America is being attacked from other nations. You look at BRICS, that's attacking America. You look at what Gaddafi was doing in Libya. That's why they went there and killed him, because what he would have done was tie the oil and everything to the new currency, the same thing that the BRICS nations are trying to do, because the rest of the world is fed up with America being able to put sanctions on them and tear up their economy, because everything is tied to the dollar. And we know that the dollar is tied to nothing. It has no real value. So America is being attacked on all sides. The burden that Trump is carrying and trying to fix, he's never going to be able to get it fixed. This term has been limited. It has been set, and she is going down. And it's just the reality that needs to be understood. And as it says that, he says it makes way for a new one. And I tell people all the time, well, when the dollar falls, America falls, who's going to sit around and let these demons come up with a new system? So you're going to actually sit there and just allow them to come up with a new system to oppress you in?
Correct.
You're just going to let that happen? I
Right.
said, there's no way on this world that that's going to happen. But some of our people, even those who think that they are awakened, their mind is still closed, that there's another reality outside of this false reality of the white man, because everything about them is a lie. They're not the strongest. They're not the best. They're not the smartest. They're not the cleanest.
Mm.
It really is a lie. And we have to be awakened to understand it and see it, and then be courageous enough to live it. So we got to be able to see beyond the fake appearance that America puts on, that, oh, we're good, we're the best, and you're really not. Even with the bombings that they're doing right now over in Yemen, all that shit is going to catch back up to you. It's going to catch back up to you. America-owned military people are saying, hey, look, we need to slow down with all of this, because there's not enough ammo. We don't even have enough ammo in storage, that if a war kicked off and they were shooting back, we can only last for 2 weeks with the current amount of ammo that we have, because we're not producing our own.
They don't even have enough soldiers.
They surely don't.
They do not.
They really don't.
There's this guy, he's a white guy, he's been in the military, and he's a good strategist. I don't know, I forgot his name. I listen to him from time to time. America is doomed if a war breaks out. He makes it clear with evidence, facts. He's really, his commentary is awesome. And America is not prepared, because we don't have, you said ammunition, we don't have enough soldiers, and a lot of people don't want to go to war.
Exactly.
They don't want to fight. We don't have these people today, this generation, they want to dance.
Yes.
They want to play sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got men, they want to be more women than real women. And we just don't, we're not prepared.
No, America is not prepared. America is not prepared. And you know, when you think about it, you know, I wish I could actually, you know, say, look, this is how many, and I'm quite sure it's probably a chart somewhere, I just don't know where, but show how many fighting age American citizens that are on Ritalin and all of these different pills. So you could see they're not even in any condition to even go under no quote unquote basic training to be fighting people, because you're on all of these different type of medications. It's just not a reality. It's just not a reality, and that's something that I believe President Trump needs to come to grips with really quick, because all this bombing and you're talking. If these people decide to strike back, you're going to be in some trouble. You're going to be in some real trouble. And then another thing that really stood out to me is where it says in part two, in chapter two, paragraph two, one great problem to be solved in the fall of America is the liberation of the so-called American Negro, the lost and found people of the original Black nation of the earth. Do you realize, did you ever read, or not even the whole thing, or maybe part, the report on the Negro family?
No. It
Okay.
came out of where? Where did it come from?
It came out of Lyndon Johnson's White House in 1965.
No.
I read it, and I didn't read the whole thing, but the beginning parts that I did read was worth every minute that it took me to read it. And it lays out how treacherous and wicked that the slavery that our people went through was unlike any slavery that was ever on the planet Earth.
I agree.
It also talked about the most important revolution on the planet is the Negro American Revolution. He said, because whatever happens by that revolution will be a signal for the whole world. So if Black people are freed through this revolution, it will free Black people all throughout the world. And if it fails, then all Black people throughout the world will also fail. So they're saying that the revolution here in America with Black people is greater than the American Revolution itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we got to really understand, because they're saying, look, if these niggas over here are successful, it's going to do a chain reaction around the world. And it's more of them than it is us.
Right.
So we're in danger. We got to make sure that these niggas don't be successful. And that's something that we really got to take apart and listen and understand, that the more we play these dumb games and want to stay asleep, we're not just hurting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're hurting the rest of the Black nation on this planet, because they're all waiting on us.
But isn't that crazy how in these African countries they want to be like us, but when they get here, they're nowhere to be found when we need them,
Yes.
and they don't support us.
Mm-hmm.
And if what you're saying is true, which I do believe, this goes to show why they keep our people so distracted.
Exactly.
This is one of the reasons why there's a great push to emasculate our men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, to get us hooked on drugs and alcohol and television and social media.
Mm-hmm.
And just a big distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Muhammad said, millions of us, and we can do everything but unite.
Exactly.
We can do everything else. We can play football, basketball. We can get on social media and do the latest dance challenges and housewife this and reality TV that. We can outshop every other ethnic group, and but we can do all of that. But what we can't seem to do is unite. But I wanted to also add, excuse me, that I was watching a video one day about Israel. Did you know that Israel recruits migrants and to come to join the military, and they offer them citizenship just like the United States does?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I know I met this guy. He wants to come to America so bad, And he was like, he wants to do like a business marriage. He would prefer a business marriage, but he's
Mm-hmm.
a really nice looking guy. And he was like, I already know because some women are so desperate that they're probably gonna, fall in love. And he said, I don't want to fall in love. I don't want anybody to fall in love with me. I just want to do a business marriage. I have the money, I'll pay, and to get my citizenship, and I'm done. And I
Mm.
said, well, what if that does not happen? And he said, well, I can do it the military route and just, join the military and get citizenship. He's like, but I really don't want to take that route. So, I mean, that do you think that that's one of the reasons why Biden was allowing so many migrants to come into this country? Because they know that war is, on the horizon, and they want to use them to join the military to increase the number of our soldiers?
I believe that was a tactic that was part of it, because he knew that the numbers are low. And he also knew that they could classify these migrants as white, and they would follow that white path to maintain their quote unquote new rounds of citizenship. And it's one thing that's very interesting because they just, when was it? I think it was probably in the beginning when he first got into office, that they had a soldier who fought for America and he got deported back to his original country.
I've been seeing that.
Yeah. And just like Israel will do it, and you will see Ethiopians, black tar Ethiopians, over there on the front lines for Israel fighting. And you're fighting for a people who don't even like you.
Hate your guts. And when the women come, when they allowed those black so-called Israelites to return to Israel, one of the first things they did to the women was to give them that shot so that they could not have children.
That's right. That's right.
You
Yes.
can come, but you can't have children here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna sterilize you
Mm-hmm.
because we want to keep it white.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I thought when I saw the Ethiopian in the IDF uniform, the thought came to me was, you hate yourself that much that you would give your life for your enemy, who lets you know damn well that they don't like you. But you hate yourself. You're going to leave Ethiopia to come to Israel to fight for them. And just like in over there in Great Britain, they calling on the Indians from India, trying to get them to enlist in their military because they don't even have enough members to go fight.
Hmm.
So these white countries are really weak. They're weak. They show like they the big bad person on the block, but in reality, they're nothing but weaklings. That they're going to go to the same people that they have oppressed and mistreated and say, "Come on, come fight for me. I'll pay you."
Exactly. And then you got to be two kinds of crazy to actually take them up on the offer.
Exactly.
Because they so barbaric. They know is war.
Mm-hmm.
They know nothing else but war. This is where they come from. They are a warlike, barbaric people, and they will, as long as as long as they are alive and breathing, we will have wars.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to stop because war is all they know. And I remember I had to run to my closet and get a book. I don't. I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to find the page, but I remember there was a book I read. I have it in my hand right now, and I'll try to maybe get it. The I'll get it to you later, but it talks about how the Greeks and the Romans were constantly fighting against one another, and the citizens would flee to Africa for safety. And when
Mm.
they would come back, like when the war was over, when the refugees would come back, they would come back with knowledge and information, with just new things that they were exposed to, that the barbarians who stayed thought that they were crazy. So how can you say that you are the developers of culture and music and writing and songs and literature and infrastructure and all these magnificent things when all you knew you were fighting all the time? That's all they know. They can't conceive really of anything else but to fight, to kill, blood, destruction, and they won't stop.
And that's just like Donald Rumsfeld when he was in the Bush administration, the first and second term before he got fired in the late second term. But he said, there's a few things you'll never hear me say. Just and lasting peace. He said, because there's nothing just in this world, and there will never be peace in this world. And again, he's the Secretary of Defense, so he knows exactly what they're doing. And he knows exactly we're going to kill, and there's never going to be justice because there's just not justice to give. It's not in them to give us justice. That's why we have to be of the mentality, I'm going to take justice. Because when Rand Paul was running for president the last time, he went to the Bronx in New York City and talked to Black people. He said, look here, I like what Malcolm X said. I don't go beg another man for justice. If I want justice, I'll take justice. And so we have to realize that that's what it's about. It is about taking justice because they're never going to give it to you. They're never going to give you justice. You're going to be always crying and whining for justice to come, but they're not here to give it to you. And that's something that we got to wake up to, that reality in real time, and begin the process of taking justice.
Let me ask you, I want to show you something. I forgot. I guess I want to show, let me see, share my screen, right?
Right.
And I'm going to do window. I want to show you something right quick.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's about to pop up.
Okay. So let me go back here in the fall of America. When he talks about in the South, we saw Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., a graduate of theology, as I am told, on his knees begging the divinely condemned people, the white race, for brotherhood. You, the so called Negro, are too spiritually and mentally blind to see. Your heart is too hard against receiving the truth, and your ears are too thoroughly closed to the truth that God Allah has said the white race is a race of devils created to be destroyed. So let me go back here where you are. And this is the picture that he was talking about. This is the picture that I found online in regards to what Elijah Muhammad was talking about, Martin Luther King being on his knees. And what's so interesting about this picture is not only is he on his knees, but you see, I think that's Abernathy behind him. And look at the line of people behind them who are also on their knees. And you see so many, like the thousands of Black brothers and sisters and children who had been lynched and burned on open fires, right? And here you have these adult men bowing their head, closing their eyes. They're on one knee, and they have all of these people behind them doing the same thing. This is nothing more than the blind leading the blind down the path of destruction. This is not how you get justice. This is not divine judgment. This right here is cowardness. This is foolishness. And I would be ashamed for my husband to have been a part of that, to see women being attacked with fire hoses and canines, people spitting on your wife and your children, all in your food, burning down your house. I went to St. Augustine, Florida, and there's a high school, It was a black high school for, black children. It was built because they could not attend white schools. And now it's a museum. And I took my chances and went inside just to see what I could, glean from it. And
Right.
they have his fingerprint card there.
Oh, wow.
And right next to his fingerprint card, you have J. Edgar Hoover's boots. And he was a tiny man. Oh, his feet
Mm,
were very small, but you got the fingerprints next to the boots. And I found that very interesting. But there was also a nurse. Like when Martin Luther King Jr. came to St. Augustine, Florida, a black woman picked him up from the airport or bus station. However he got to St. Augustine, Florida, he was picked up by a black woman, if I'm not mistaken, because I know he was in the car with her.
mm-hmm,
And she took him to his destination. I think he even visited her home. The KKK flipped her car over.
mm,
They literally flipped her car over. Black people helped her flip it right side up, and she
mm-hmm,
continued to drive it through town to show that she would not be intimidated. But to get on your knees in a time like this, I don't
mm,
understand what provoked him to do it. How,
mm, mm.
even in school, parents tell their children, if somebody hits you, what are you supposed to do?
Hit them back.
Hit them back.
Yep.
So how did we get here? How did we get? I mean, we know, but
Mm-hmm,
this isn't this to me. This is an embarrassment.
mm-hmm.
And I in this day and age, if I were married and my husband were to do this, he better understand his shit to be outside, and I'd be trying to get a divorce. Because you're not gonna embarrass me like that. You supposed to come get the click clack. You supposed to come open up the shelter, the damn barnyard, and get the click clacks out.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Exactly.
and everybody who old enough to hold a click clack better get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this picture right
Mm-hmm.
here. Let me go to the next picture right here. It's gonna pop
Mm.
up in a minute.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's King himself getting pushed down.
Yes, with the
Oh,
white man
wow.
ass all tooted up in the air.
Mm, mm,
That's
mm.
Martin Luther King Jr. You see, he
Oh,
on his knee, right? He's still on his knee, right?
what?
You see that, right?
What?
So you care
Mm-hmm.
so much about being on your knee that you got a white man pushing your head down with his ass up in the air, and you still talking about what's it called,
Mm,
passive resistance?
mm-hmm.
This shit is embarrassing.
Damn.
This shit right here is embarrassing.
Mm, mm, mm,
What separates the white man from the black man to make the white man think he can do this to the black man, but the black man sitting there saying, I ain't gonna touch you?
mm,
How
mm,
much is too much? You
mm.
mean to tell me nothing inside of you gets enraged so you be like, fuck it, let's squabble, freedom or death?
Exactly.
I'm gonna die today, you gonna die today, or all of us gonna die today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's Martin Luther King with the white man ass all up in the air. Look at this one. This is embarrassing.
Mm, mm, mm,
Just
mm.
hold hands, sing songs, pray together, and all
Mm.
will be well. And I found an article about his relationship with that white woman, and he was, they according to the article, they were in love,
Mm.
and they met in college. They had an open relationship. It was nothing secret about it. And
Mm-hmm.
they were going out on dates. They were
Mm.
riding around in the car together, eating together, socializing together publicly. And he felt comfortable with her. So he was pushing the buttons at a very early age, but he knew that his future would not allow him to marry this white woman. And I believe the reason why he was one of the reasons why he was pushing for integration is because he wanted us to feel what he felt, which was the love of white people.
Mm. Mm.
I
Mm.
love her. So why don't you love white people? Look at me. We hold hands and go out to dinner.
Mm.
We ride around together. And I love her and she loves me. And he had conversations about marrying her. But he just knew that it was going to not only disappoint his father, but he was not going to fulfill the his purpose, because his father was really relying on him to come and lead a church, and he could not convince people if he had been married to a white woman. And I feel so sorry for Coretta, because that was not his true love. That was somebody he had to settle for to prop up his career, which is very selfish.
Mm.
Because if I love you, I don't care what anybody says. So yeah,
Mm.
he loved that white woman. He loved her, but he told her that, my future does not include being married to a white woman. But and I can only imagine, because white people are very sexual. They're very hypersexual.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned that. We got it from them. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was a little girl, we would go out to the movies, to dinner, to the youth fair, to carnivals, the basketball games, football games. And anytime a white person was there, they was always touchy feeling, tongue kissing each other in the mouth. Do you remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
And it was so foreign to us because from what I recall, we didn't show open affection like that. That was something that was private that you do in your bedroom, even kissing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yep.
even my mom and daddy kissing each other like that or hugging like that. That shit was private for your bedroom. But I remember every time we went somewhere and white people were there, they was always touching, feeling, and kissing each other in the mouth. I just went to a furniture store last week and the white woman was rubbing all on the man back, all on his head, all behind his ear and shit. I'm like, damn, y'all in the damn furniture store and is that serious? Because if somebody did that to me, I'll be like, nigga, if you don't get your goddamn hands off me,
Mm,
don't
mm,
play
mm.
with me like that. To me, that's disrespectful. It's a time and a place for everything. And I said all that to say this. The fact that he had this relationship with this white woman, I strongly believe they were having sex with each other.
Mm.
You 19 years old, you a young man, your hormones racing, you away from your parents.
Mhm.
You are a grown man. He was smoking, he was drinking, he was partying, he was gambling, he was playing pool, he was one of the niggas.
Mm,
You
mm.
see, he wasn't no goddamn holy roller.
Right.
He was a
Right.
homeboy, and I guarantee you, he was getting down with that white woman. And
Mm,
I and
mm,
I tru- and I truly believe that when our people have sex with white people, it does something to them internally that they can never come back from.
mm,
I believe you have to do deep, deep, deep spiritual work to whatever it is that is imparted inside of you. You have to do deep spiritual work for that to come out, because I do believe that black people having sex with white people, it taints your spirit.
mm.
It's like having sex with an animal. And if you have sex with a pig or a goat or a donkey, how can you come back from that? You did it.
Mm,
And so
mm,
I
mm.
do believe he was having sex with that white woman, and he wanted us to feel that and experience that and live that. And he had to shift his lifestyle to get in line with his dad. And that was to lead a black church. And after all of the singing and praying and kneeling and holding hands and engaging with these people and speeches, this is where he ended up
Wow.
in a casket.
Mm,
This
mm.
is where integration will get you.
That's
See, he talks about us going into that burning house. This is his burning house.
mm,
This is where integration is going to get us, in a physical and a spiritual casket. This is an embarrassment when you want to integrate with a people that hate you. This was the end of his life in a damn casket.
Mm, mm, mm.
And we are still in this situation today.
Hmm. Wow. Do you know whether the cracker is still alive? I mean, the white woman is still alive?
She died. Hold on. I think I have the article right here. I have the article right here. Um, Let me see. I think she passed away. I think she died.
Mm,
I think she died. Let me see. Yeah. So Betty went on to become an interior decorator and an antique dealer. She married in 1955, had 3 children. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know when I don't know. But it's a very interesting article
mm.
about his relationship with her. And she was like, we were madly in love, and it wasn't a secret.
Wow. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. And so you say that Coretta was a more or less a second thought.
She was.
Wow.
She
So
was.
I guess that's why he was able to cheat on her so many times.
He look.
Mother.
He was. He.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. He wasn't faithful to her. He didn't love her. I don't think he really loved her.
Mm.
Coretta was what you would call a beard.
You
You
said a
know,
beard?
a beard. They call them a beard when you have like a man, like so a beard, like you have these homosexual, these men, these politicians, right? These celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
they really desire to have sex with men, but
Mm-hmm.
they know that their fans or society it would not accept them under the circumstances. So what they'll do like a Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is a homosexual man. He makes that clear, but he also presents himself in public with women.
Mm.
So on one hand, you'll think that, okay, this man is heterosexual, he has a wife, he has children, but behind the scene, he's engaging with trans men and gay men.
Mm.
And remember, that came out recently when the white man took him to court, and Dwight had to give a statement, and they all his part of his text messages were presented as evidence, and he admitted because he was so the white man was saying Dwight Howard took advantage of him, and so Dwight Howard, because he was in the court and he had to admit, he was like, no, it was consensual. So he was engaging oral sex with a white man, but he was doing a threesome. It was Dwight, a transsexual, and a white man, and Dwight Howard was the one performing fellatio, but he's also now married to a black woman.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And that came out in the court documents. That's not hearsay.
Mm. Mm.
So I believe that, Coretta was just that face, the face to associate this black man with this black woman to have these black children, but he was not who he said he was. He had a whole different lifestyle. So while you are being disloyal to your wife and you are trying to petition for us to integrate with these people, I don't think he was. Look,
Mm.
this is where he ended up
Mm. Mm.
in a goddamn casket.
Mm.
So that takes us to paragraph 4, unless you had something you wanted to say about it.
When I understood that integration is a sin, and I asked different pastors about that. Is integration a sin? Oh no, it ain't a sin. It ain't a sin. No, 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 no. God wants us to integrate. And it's that foolish thinking that sets you up for death. That's that foolish thinking that sets you up for death, because we were never meant to integrate with them. Our ancestors didn't trust them and didn't want to be integrated. And that's something that we should wake up and understand why separation is the best and only solution, because we cannot live with them in peace. They don't want peace. They would rather they would rather rule in hell versus living in heaven and a black person is in charge. They don't want that. And we need to wake up and understand that reality, because the sick idea of being in love with them or even wanting to live with them and be their brother. I still can't get that picture out of my head that you sent me about the cracker with the hair all uh, mixed up in there. And every time I look at them, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I can't get that shit out of my head. So, mm. Ain't no way.
So wait a minute. So her name was Amelia Elizabeth Moitz,
Mm.
the white woman. Amelia Elizabeth Moitz. They call her Betty, and she passed away in 2018 at the age of 89.
Oh wow.
And I'm reading a short article. It says King asked his friends what they thought might happen if he and Betty were to marry. He would almost certainly not be able to lead a church in the South. If he had to remain in the North, would he be happy there? Ambitious young ministers of King's generation understood that a good early marriage could help one's career. It offered proof of maturity and commitment for congregations in search of new leaders. In fact, King told a friend he hoped to be married within a year of graduation from Crozer, although he did not say to whom. So he wanted to marry Betty,
Mm.
right? But his father told him it would create obstacles for him.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Hmm. That was his love.
Mm. Mm.
So hundreds of thousands of preachers tremble at the thought of even accepting the truth and wish to take their followers into the fall of America. This is the problem to be solved. If it is to be solved, then how shall it be solved? And what is the best method to use in the solution? It must be a solution that touches not only the enemy, but those who cleave to him while defying the wrath of Almighty Allah, God. It is incumbent, says the Holy Quran, that Allah give life to this mentally dead so called Negro. It is also made incumbent in the Bible where Ezekiel declares in his vision that all of the dry bones were resurrected. This does not refer so much to the word because the word has no effect on their resurrection. It literally took something more effective than the word. The winds that the prophets were to prophesy to represent wars which will eventually bring harm and suffering to the rebellious rejectors of the truth. Salvation must come to the so called Negro. Everyone's eyes should be open. The time of the ending of this world is now and not yet to come, as you so foolishly think. Watch this. You see right here where he say the winds that the
Mm-hmm.
prophets were to prophesy to represent war.
Uh-huh.
What if all of these tornadoes and hurricanes are divine wars that's coming against
Mm-hmm.
the enemies of God?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Mm-hmm.
Because
Without.
they in shambles.
Oh
White
yeah.
America, with all these storms and floods and fires,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
are in shambles. And let me tell you, when the California wildfires were they was just engulfed. It was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, you know how they always want to pull on your heartstrings and bring people on the news to talk about the houses that were blown down, the houses that were blown away, and they just want to pull on your heart strings and tell you where to give donations and stuff like that to make us feel sorry for people. And I
Right.
remember I sent you the picture. There was a black family, very they were very financially well together, and they had a beautiful home in California. They had a beautiful family, they were married, they had their children, their house, life was good until the fires. And they showed a picture of the black couple in their Christmas pajamas sitting in front of the Christmas tree.
Mm.
And right then and there, I was disgusted,
Mm.
because you know that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Not only are you practicing this holiday, this holiday that's designed to generate billions of dollars for people that don't look like you, who hate you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going along, getting along on the bandwagon with your Christmas pajamas. I hate to see black people in their Christmas pajama shit in front of the tree, because it shows me how stupid some people can be. And when I see it, I know, like when I see a black person with a Christmas hat on, and when I
Mm-hmm.
see them participating in certain holidays, I know to be on high alert. Because I told you before, and I'll tell you again, those are the type of people that will kill you in the name of Jesus. So I have to be alert, because I know if you are a diehard Bible thumper and you believe in Jesus and you are afraid to go to hell, and if they can come and deceive you into thinking, especially with all this AI, you know, and make
Mm.
you think that Jesus tell you to kill in my name.
Mm.
I'm very careful who I associate myself with. I don't like to be around Christians, because I really do believe that they will kill me in the name of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to know I'm gonna kill you before you kill me.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Exactly.
I want them to know that. And I could be, you could be on my job, you could be a family member. That's good. But don't ask me why I don't want to come to the party. Don't don't do that, because I got my eye on you.
Right.
And I know you can't be trusted, because you don't know what I know, you don't believe what I believe, and you don't care to open your mind to get understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And you scared.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be around people like that. So I just stay away. I don't even try to convince them otherwise. You
No.
know?
Yep. Yep. Look, I'm gonna just say straight up, God hates a coward. God hates a coward. And you really gotta play a head game with somebody to convince them to let them beat your ass, and you stand there and you don't even fight back.
Mhm.
You gotta do some serious head work on a person that you're gonna let these people whoop your ass and you don't do a damn thing back. God hates cowardice. And in the Bible it tells you straight up that they will have their place that burns like a lake with fire. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You know, when you think about how America uses its systems to make a coward out of you, to make you believe in something that you'll never get. It tells you, oh, something happened to you. Oh, just call the police, call the police. Police supposed to come, police supposed to arrest them. They get charged, supposed to go to jail. No. Hell, you'd be lucky if they even get a charge. And
Mhm.
then, if they do get a charge, they go to court and they cousin get them off. But you will believe our people have been so programmed to believe in that system that renders you no justice whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And our people believe in it day in and day out. Even though in their heart of heart they know the reality that this is not no justice for us. You're never going to get it. But see, it takes courage to realize what must be done next. And for whatever reason, people don't want to accept that responsibility. But see, when we accept those responsibilities, because when we use this cowardice, we're helping America to live.
Correct.
And we got to stop that.
Isn't that what Elijah Muhammad said? We're helping the robber to rob.
That's what he
We're
said.
helping the stealer to steal. We're helping the rapist to be a rapist.
Yes.
That's what he said. We're helping you do what you do. Now
Yeah.
we see the pictures. You got somebody's son on the goddamn fire, charred.
Mm-hmm.
They say they was lifting them black men up in the air, giving
Yeah.
them some relief, and dropping their ass back into the fire. We see the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and we're waiting on a judge and a jury to render a decision.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I don't understand how all of us did not just swarm on their ass.
Exactly.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
It was something I wanted to say about. I remember this guy I was dating, he was in prison. And I remember one day I went to visit him. And he was mad at me for something. I don't know. He used to bully. He was a sweetheart, but he used to bully me.
Mm.
And he knew that I didn't cower very easily, but he would still try. And so one day we were holding hands and he was mad at me. So he took his hand, that my hand was in his hand, and he pushed it into my mouth as if he was like punching me in my mouth, right?
Mm.
And we were under the camera. I didn't give a damn about the cameras or the correction officers.
Mm.
I took my fingernails and I dug my I dug my fingernails deep in his skin, and I didn't stop until I pulled it off. And he was sitting there in excruciating pain, trying not to scream. He say, "Ooh," he say, "if they find out, we gonna get a domestic violence charge." I say, "We gonna get what we gonna get, but you bet not ever."
Mm.
I dug his. I left out that prison with his skin under my fingernails. Don't
Mm.
ever play with me. I don't give a. I don't care about these people. I'm gonna get you where you stand. Don't you play with me.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta have that type of attitude.
Mm. Mm-mm.
What's the worst could happen? Death.
Exactly.
You
Mm.
know, is that the worst that could happen? Or being alive and letting the rapist tell the story, letting the lyncher
Mm.
tell the story, letting the lyncher pass around the postcards, letting the lyncher make souvenirs out of your fingernails and toenails and lips and eyes and teeth,
Mm.
right?
Mm-mm. Say that. Mm. Wow.
Where are we?
We are. I believe we're. Are we? No, we're on 5.
So, oh yeah, we're actually on 6
Okay.
because we were talking about the winds. So with all these
Mhm.
tornadoes and like now where I am, we're getting we talked about that tornado that's ripping through America from the Gulf all the way to Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
People are dead.
Exactly.
Children, babies, adults, the elderly, dead.
Mm-hmm.
And hurricane season hasn't even started. That's June to November.
Mm-hmm.
But it's already started.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a wild one. And you know, and I told you if I dream it, it's gonna happen. Not so about a year and a half ago, I dreamed of a hurricane and I saw things in my yard displaced. So I know that I'm gonna be touched by a hurricane, but
Mm.
it wasn't bad. I didn't have a lot of damage, but I think this is going to be that year that I'm going to be touched by a hurricane, and I've already started making preparations for that
Mm-hmm.
because when there's a hurricane, you can only buy so many of an item, like maybe one case of water per person in
Mm.
who at checkout. So things are going to be very limited. So I'm trying to stock up right now
Right.
so that I can be prepared to not only just help myself, but to help some of the elderly people in my family because they're not ready. I
Mm.
know so many people who are not ready.
Mm.
But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting year. So Elijah Muhammad says in paragraph 6, he says, study your own Bible. It is there. The end is predicted and hinted in many places. Daniel in the Bible, however, gives you a better knowledge of it than in any other place. And the Quran prophecy is exact. Do not expect 10 more years. The fall will be within a few days. What you think about that? Because it didn't happen.
The fall is a process. And since it is a process, if we look back, because this is one thing that I did, um, look back and see, well, what started to happen. And if you look from the time that this book was written, or he gave that speech in the Uline arena, and see how things are adding up. And each year, America continuously was losing power each and every year, to where we are to this day, that its military can't even last longer than a real 2 week war. If they ever get into when the war does happen, they're not going to be able to last no longer than 2 weeks. When you're running out of ammunition, you don't even have enough soldiers or sailors to even begin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a process. It's a definite process, the start all the way to the end. Mm-hmm.
The so called Negro must be stripped completely of the white man's way of life, his name, and Christianity. The world of scholars and scientists knows that Christianity will not survive. They know that Islam is the only religion that will survive the destruction of this wicked civilization, and the Christian church is dwindling.
Yes.
I saw an article. They're losing numbers and they're trying
Mm-hmm.
everything they can do. Like now you see like what I can't stand to see pastors on social media, they're doing the dance challenges now.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting involved in the worldly things that their so-called Bible tells us to not affiliate ourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unfortunate that they want to embrace the world, but the world is not embracing them, you
Right.
know, and they're not opening up to say you like I remember I used to go to when I was a Christian, I used to go to Bible study at my friend girl's house. We used to
Mm-hmm.
go like I told you, I was a thumper. I read the Bible like 5 times, page to page, front and back, didn't miss a page. Okay.
Mm.
And I used to go to Bible study every Friday night, and her boyfriend, who was the pastor of a church, he would lead Bible study
Mm.
and they were having sex with each other. As a matter of fact, she got pregnant from him,
Oh, wow.
and he was even cheating on her and all kind of extra affairs. And so it was just really a dog and pony show. It
Mm.
was a major dog and pony show. And look at so many people that go to church. When I was young, I remember I was standing outside of the church that my grandmother went to. My father was a member of that church. And I remember as soon as church got out, the people would go outside and smoke right in front of the church.
Oh, wow.
I never forget.
Mm.
And I'm like, and so I
Mm.
at that and I was my young mind at that age was trying to make connections. But I was so
Mm.
young, I didn't fully understand. I just knew in my heart that it wasn't right, you know?
Exactly.
Because what they sell you is not what they live.
Exactly.
And a lot of and actually it's a good thing that a lot of people are falling away from Christianity. That's a really good thing. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, especially for Black women, I can definitely tell you when we get to a very low point, one of the first places we go is to the church to look for answers,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that we're going to get a solution to our problem. Jesus is going to fix it, He's going to take away the pain. It just doesn't work that way. You know, it does not work that way. And like I told you, I had a coworker, they were paying like $8,000 a month for rent.
Mm-hmm.
And when COVID hit and people stopped going to church, they were having church on Zoom. Now they meet at a park every Sunday morning. They meet at a park and have church in the park where they don't have to pay anything.
Mm-hmm.
So desperate to still hold on to Christianity as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just letting it go.
That's right.
You got strippers that say they Christian,
Mm,
prostitutes, they're Christians.
mm.
Drug dealers got the cross, right? They get tattooed
Yep.
cross, the little cross on their neck. They, if you ask
Mm-hmm.
them about their Christians, they'll say yes. You got murderers in prison, Christians. So what is a Christian?
Mm.
What I wonder what is the true definition of a Christian? Because I don't, it's definitely not lifestyle. It
No.
can't be lifestyle.
Mm-mm.
Because you got some Christians, you got thousands of Christians that got an abortion today.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
that's actually chapter 2. That was short.
Oh, wow. Very
Mhm.
short. You know, the Pew Research Center did a report, and it said the U.S. decline of Christianity continues at a rapid pace. At a rapid pace. So, yeah. And, you know, it's a great thing for our people to finally be able to see what the truth is. Because, to be very, very honest, it is the way that the enemy has taught Christianity that has put us to sleep in such a miserable condition. I was watching a video the other day of a brother, and he was showing our people in their raggedy way that, you know, some of our people operate. And he was like, you can't blame Trump for this. You can't blame Trump for this. And he wasn't a Trump supporter, but he was just saying, you can't blame Trump for this behavior of these Black people. So I put in the comment, I said, Trump represents America. And what you see our people do, America made that. This is the handiwork of America. This is what America has produced out of the men and women, the children of God. This is what America has produced. So you're wrong to say this ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Trump didn't produce this. Trump represents America, and this is what America made.
Mhm.
This is what made in America looks like. And so this is the reality of what it is. But as soon as they put down that foolishness and accept your own and be yourself, you change overnight. And it's not like when in Christianity, you change for maybe 36 hours. Some don't even last 36 hours before they go right back to where they came from
Mhm.
because it's not real. It's not real. I watched a movie the other day, and when I heard the white man say this, I thought of you. He said, oh, they gonna go listen to Magic Jesus?
Magic Jesus?
Magic Jesus. That's what he said. They gonna go listen down to Magic Jesus. And this dude was supposed to be a minister, a white dude.
Mhm.
But he's like, oh, they going down and listen to Magic Jesus. Well, at some point they're gonna learn Magic Jesus can't save them.
That's right.
It's gonna take real work and not some little magic that you think gonna happen and you gonna stay in that position. And see, and this is the process of waking our people up. That's why the enemy knew to keep them in that religion as long as they possibly can, because it keeps them from revolting. It keeps them from wanting to spread their wings. They said in another report that they wrote, when they were trying to find which nigga done gave the okay to all of these riots to go off when King was killed, the commission on riots. And they learned it ain't just one nigga, one magical nigga to say, go do this. They said because the youth are rejecting church. Church is being filled up by older folks. So we got to figure out a different way to grab the youth, because they're not accepting church, and they're finding pride in being black. And since this young male is finding pride in being black, he now will begin to push the barriers that stop him from succeeding, because now he's embraced black pride. So they said, we got to destroy these things. So TV programs that were like, the Black Journal, they changed that name, took black off of it, and put Tony Brown's Journal.
Mm.
They took programs that said black, replaced the black, took it away, and gave you something else that would break the mind, because we were becoming to having one mind with how we saw oppression and how we saw the oppressors. So they said, well, we got to tear this shit up, because it's uniting these niggas by what they're seeing, and it's programming them to think a way that we don't want them to think. So while we got now this gangster rap, ain't no surprise. You got this homosexuality be thrown in front of your face. It ain't a surprise.
Man, let me tell you something about that homosexuality. It's deeper than we think.
Come on now.
Ooh, oh my God. I need to
Bring
go get my dream book.
it.
No, this is because let me tell you something. Oh my God. Ooh, I try not to expose too much on social media, because if I go get my dream book, y'all gonna be flabbergasted when I read this dream to you. And this dream I had, I think, like 2 years ago. But I may read it to you another day. But what we're dealing with is a bisexual sex cult. And you have politicians, athletes, celebrities, entertainers, rappers, musicians. They're a part of a bisexual sex cult. And I saw the faces of many people who are alive today in that dream. I will not call their name. I know 100% for sure that a lot of celebrities, athletes, politicians, rappers, musicians, I know for a fact, I don't care if you see a man and that's his wife, or a woman and that's her, no, 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 no. Trust and believe, when the lights go out, they're engaging in homosexual activity. They're having sex with men and women. And it's an initiation. Those who don't want to participate, they try to kill them. And it's very organized. It will blow your mind, the people that I saw in my dream. Not only did I see people who are still alive today, I saw people in the past who had already made transition. And and when I woke up, I was like, damn, him too? Him too? God damn. Like it, yeah, it's deep. Oh yeah, it's deep. And they pander to your perversion. If you're inquisitive, or if you are a coward, they're gonna get you. And in the dream, they tried to get me, and I kept saying, I want to remain chaste. I want to remain chaste. I want to remain clean. I'm righteous. And they did not care. And I had to escape. And when I attempted to escape and I ran to my car, the battery wasn't there. Something was wrong with the battery. They had, because when I got to the party, they invited me. I think they invited me to like whatever they invited me to, they switched it unbeknownst to me. And they introduced that lifestyle to me to see what I was thinking. And when I knew what was going down, I was like, no, I want to remain chaste. I'm righteous. I'm a good woman. And I literally had to escape, and something was wrong with my car. And I had to take off running. And I just took off running to a house that an older woman and an older man was there, and the police, and I was saying, call the police, and nobody would help me. And not even the police, they would not help me because they're in on it too. And I'm thankful to spirit that I wasn't attacked, I wasn't assaulted, but I was they tried it. And I woke up. I literally had to wake myself up out of it because it was a lot. But when I see celebrities now, I just shake my head, because if you were in that dream, I know for a fact, if you a man, I know what the fuck going on. Oh, I know 100% what you do. I've seen the faces. I've seen them, the dead ones and the ones that's still living. And they disgust me because they parade around town like they're heterosexual, and the men taking straight pipe. And let me tell you what they do in these rituals. In my dream, it was revealed to me that because they took me into this room where they were doing massages, and there was a woman. So they lay you on the table, right? You lay on the table on your back. And when you're on your back, there you have a woman who has her legs open at your head. So imagine yourself laying down on a massage table on your back. In front of you at your head is a woman with her legs open, right? And at your feet there's a man. So, and the man, his penis was exceptionally large. So what they do when they take you into these parties and you go through this initiation, you're giving fellatio to a woman, but you're getting penetrated by a man who's well endowed. And so that represents the two work, the lady and the man, they represent work, sex work. So these individuals, they have people who already have their sex workers who partake in the initiation because they know what to do. Because they do it every day, all day. That's what they do. They sex workers.
Wow.
And so it was so crazy because this came out 2 years ago in my dream, and look at what happened with Diddy. Sex work, parties, you know, and I read it to someone. I literally read the dream to someone, and she almost fell out her chair. Because people be thinking I'm playing when I tell them that, you know, I see stuff. I was born this way. And it's other stuff I'm forgetting now, but she was amazed that I saw this stuff 2 years ago, and we actually saw it play out with Sean Combs. I said, girl, I knew this 2 years ago. I was just waiting for it to unfold. But that sex cult is bisexual. Most of these celebrities are bisexual. And they take them men taking straight pipe. I ain't talking about no little pipe. They taking extra large pipe. That black man had that mandingo.
Lord have mercy.
Yes. I
tell her, you know, people say that they buy. I look, I say, nigga, you gay. you just gay. You know, if ands and buts about it, you gay. And you know, it's. I was at a ice cream place last night on my way back, and I'm looking at black people chilling with white folks, talking and having a good time. But as I'm looking at them, I'm seeing that these black folks look different. These black folks talk different. They don't look like a regular black person would look, and they don't talk like a regular black person talk. Their voice is lighter in tone. Um, they're not themselves, and you don't have the freedom to be yourself when you're around them. You have to be what they approve of. And so, I just say, and I said this before, but when rappers and stuff come to cities that we control and they try to do their little performance, and it's below the standard that we should accept, we should whoop their ass right there on fucking stage and kick them the fuck out. I mean, I'm just serious. This is what has to happen because it's being acceptable in the modern society to okay to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay now to teach our children you can be gay. I watched on the news where this another gay couple, two white men, got they adopted a black boy.
Oh.
He wound up running away, and the two gay men wound up in jail. They hadn't said everything that they did to the black boy, but that they did something to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the more of our people begin to let their behavior be acceptable, to be friends with them, to be, loving with them, you're embracing death itself.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to understand that. You're embracing death. And by your friendship with that, you're giving them an okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we should never give them the okay. Never. Never. Not at all. I remember one year, and I received a letter from a gay person, and they were like, why you never talk about the gay, transgender black people that are murdered? Why are you so black about other things, but when it comes to that, you act like that doesn't exist? And I said, because they have accepted a lifestyle that is death itself.
Mm-hmm.
So when death finds them, they got what they earned.
That's what Malcolm X said.
Yeah.
That's what Malcolm X said. You invited it.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Mm-hmm.
you let me see? Hold on. Let me see. What am I showing? I want to show you something. Can you see that?
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Can I make it larger for you? No, I know. Hold on. I want you to see it. Um, let me see what you see over here. Oh man. Let me go back over here. I want you to damn, let me see. Okay. How can I hold on? No. You know don't know what the hell I'm doing. I want you to see. I want to share, right, and then share
Right.
screen. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do window. I'm gonna do window. That's what I gotta remember is window. Now you should be able to see it. Let's see. Okay, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that picture before?
No, this is the first time.
Why? Tell me what you think about it.
So it looks like a white man is getting them indoctrinated into Christianity.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
Look at the priest. I don't. I guess that may be initiates or because so what's happened. So this here is from an article called the Kingdom of Congo and the Atlantic slave trade, I think. And what's interesting about this is this was Portugal. So this Catholic priest that you see here,
Mm-hmm.
He's Portuguese, so he's from Portugal. And the Africans who lived in the Congo, they they were not forced to accept Christianity. They accepted it willingly. And one of their kings even sent some of the people went back to Portugal to learn the culture, the language, the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
They went to learn about Christianity to come back and share it with their village men and women. And one of the kings even sent more Congolese people over to Portugal to learn Christianity, and they fully embraced it. But what was interesting to me about the article is that, and I have it if you want to read it, like we got a few minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to practice they wanted to blend Catholicism with their indigenous religion, and the Catholic priests would not allow it. See, as long as they were going along to get along, it was
Mm-hmm.
okay. But when they was like, well, we wanna blacken up these saints,
Right.
so we'll embrace your religion and we'll even get baptized. We'll sing songs and prayers and get on our knees and worship your God, but we also want to combine it with our indigenous spiritual system. And that is where they drew the line, they executed one of the Congolese queens, and sent 30,000 people of Congo to America, interestingly enough, where there was a slave revolt in South Carolina.
What?
Yeah, they expelled them from Congo because they wanted to practice their indigenous religion within Christianity. So that's and the first thing I said. So you don't want to get in line. So we're going to expel you from your indigenous homeland and put you in the slave trade and take fully control over you so that you either do it our way or your ass gonna die. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they came to America and there was a revolt. So I was shocked that, because I was under the impression that when slaves came to America, they didn't come as Christians, but that's simply just not true based on this article that I have. If you want to read a little bit of it, but they came with a Christian mindset, but it was also a mindset where they believed in liberation as well, because they were partnering with the Portuguese, they were trading with the Portuguese, they were, making money both ways. Of course, the Portuguese were more at an economic advantage, but it was a relationship based on trade. And so, they embraced Christianity until they could not blend it with their indigenous spiritual system. And it was just very interesting to learn how many of them was sent over here to America by way of South Carolina, which I told you, which was Sullivan Island, where they were quarantined until they were, all the lice is off, the sores from the slave ships were so filthy, to go work on those slave plantations. And so, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very interesting article, because the queen was like, look, y'all don't have no black saints.
Mm.
And, because you're not supposed to question these people.
Right.
We're going to sell it to you. This is what the hell it is. Believe it and don't ask no damn questions. And she dared to ask questions, and they killed that sister. That's
Mm.
why we can't partner with them. And
Mm.
they talked a lot about how we were trading with them, our own people,
Mm.
trading our own people. They wasn't trading white women and white men into the Congolese village, but we were trading our own to them,
Right. Mm. Mm. Mm.
and just got out of control. And that's what the article talks about. Carly Stowe, what is his name? What is his name? What is his name? Carly Stowe Michael. Did I say it right?
Stokely Carmichael.
Stokely Carmichael. He say, we had the land, then y'all gave us the Bible, then y'all had the land, and what he say? He said we had the land, y'all had the Bible, but they gave us the Bible and took the land.
Mm-hmm.
This is like fiat currency. It's just fluff.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
We're using their money system that's not backed by anything but air.
Exactly.
Likewise, we have accepted their religion, be it black Jesus or white Jesus. It doesn't make a difference. When you peel back the layers, it's all fluff. And as long as you believe it, we're fine with you because we're safe. You passive, you're going to turn the other cheek. But when you start to not conform to their standards, their views, their philosophy, their way of life, and you begin to ask questions, that is when you become a threat. And like Elijah Muhammad said, that's when they want to say you're evil. For what? Because I teach and preach the truth?
Mm,
No, because I question your truth, which is really a lie. This is fiat religion.
mm,
So we have their fiat currency and we have their fiat religion. It's backed by nothing but fluff
exactly.
and thin air. Because we already know that nobody is going to come save us. Nobody is going to come save us. So many of our black men, arms amputated before they were lynched, legs amputated, penis castrated, eyes gouged out, beaten unmercifully, and Jesus did not come to save. When our homes were bombed and our brothers and sisters came out with nothing but the clothes on their backs, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever read the story, even though the Malcolm X's biography by Alex Haley? What was interesting in that story is that he talks about Malcolm's father. Malcolm's father was abusive. He used to abuse his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And Malcolm was destined for greatness, even as a child, because when his father would go to the Garvey meetings, the Black nationalist meetings, he would always take Malcolm with him, but he would leave the other brothers and sisters at home.
Right.
And so the Black Legion is responsible for his father's murder. They are 10 times worse than the KKK.
Oh, wow.
And so when one day Malcolm's father came home and they used to raise rabbits. He would make money by raising rabbits and, selling, possibly selling rabbits for meat, and they would eat rabbits as well. They had a little hustle with rabbits. And
Mm-hmm.
so one day Malcolm's father came home and he looked like something was wrong. He took one of the rabbits and he tore the head off and threw it down on the floor. And because I understand the Ifa spiritual system, I do believe that even though his father did not know, that was a blood sacrifice to save his wife and his children.
Mm-hmm.
See, because when Malcolm's father came home and he did that blood sacrifice on that rabbit, he already knew he had a date with destiny to be killed. And I believe that he had to surrender himself to the Black Legion. Now, according to the information coming out of the Black Legion, they say that he fell under the train. He fell and slipped under the train. But that does not explain how his head was bashed in. Malcolm X's father was nearly severed in half, and he lingered on the train tracks for hours. His
Mm-hmm.
wife was able to see him severed on the train tracks, where they lifted up his severed body and took him to the hospital, where he died a few hours later.
Mm-hmm.
So, how in the hell do we think that Jesus is coming to save? And does he say, if you see me, you see my father, because me and my father are one. So, if you are God and you see and hear everything, then you see what the hell is going on down here. And you don't get your ass up off your throne and intervene.
Mm-hmm.
They took the children away from his mother. She was in an insane asylum for about 26 years. That's
Mm.
suffering.
That is.
Suffering. The
Yep.
father is murdered. Malcolm is murdered. The grandson was murdered. All
Yep.
this murder, and no spiritual individual is coming to intervene, but we are still waiting for a savior. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to put this into the algorithm. I'm going to put this into the universe. Out of nowhere. See, a lot of times spirits speak to me when I'm just minding my business. And so I'm minding my Black business one day, and my spirit spoke to me and said, the Antichrist is who we long for. I said, okay.
Ooh.
The Antichrist is who we long for. So our Savior is very much against Christ. This
Mm.
white Jesus that they have sold us, the one who can really help to liberate us, the mindset that we have to bring liberation, it has nothing to do with Jesus. It is very anti-Jesus. And that's why I tell you, I stay away from Christians because they're dangerous. They'll either kill you or get you killed. But
Mm.
yeah, they accepted Christianity willingly until they learned that it was not going to help them. And so many of them were killed. So many of them were sold into slavery, sent over here to America, families broken up, lives lost to embrace this fake religion, all in the name of, are you my friend and can I trade with you? And the answer is no, we can't. We don't want shit from you. Nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
There's nothing that you have we would want. The nastiest Thanksgiving meal I had was at some white people house when I was in college. That goddamn food was so nasty. I couldn't believe that somebody made some goddamn food for Thanksgiving like that.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I was so miserable.
Wow.
That shit. Oh, I said, God damn, they motherfuckers really can't cook.
Mm. 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 Wow.
And
Wow.
and just looking at this picture, you would think that somebody would say something is wrong with this, right?
Yeah.
We all we know is black. Always, all we've been seeing for hundreds of thousands of years are people that look just like me and you. And you got all these people on their knee while the white man is standing up
Mm. Mm. Mm.
with a cross that Constantine said, conquer in this sign.
Mm. You know, I looked up to see what is the Congo's Christian numbers to this day to see is it still lockstep with that picture or something different. And it says Christianity is the majority religion in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, with over 63 million Christians of all denominations in the country. The number of Christians in the Congo is estimated to be over 95.7% of the national population. The largest denomination is Roman Catholicism, which represents 50% of the national population, followed by Protestantism. The Republic of the Congo is also a predominantly Christian country, with Islam being a minority religion.
And that's you know what? That goes to show you how um idiotic people are, because King Leopold killed thousands of Congolese people.
Mhm. Yeah.
When Henry Ford, when they came out with that Model T Ford and they needed rubber for them damn tires,
Mhm.
they went over there to the Congo where rubber is in abundance, and they would use one bullet to kill between 5 and 10 people with one. Stand your ass in line. They would stand those African people in line and shoot one bullet, and that bullet would go through everybody's head, and they would just drop dead. They were amputating hands and feet of even small children who did not bring back the correct amount of I guess rubber for the day. You know, they would tell you how much you had to produce in a day, how much you needed to go out and gather in a day. Just like cotton, you got to have so many pounds a day. And if not, you're going to get flogged, right? And so if you did not bring back the right amount, they would cut off a foot, they would cut off a hand, cut off an arm. And you mean to tell me they were still embracing this religion to this day? Africa is really embracing Christian. You can go to African countries and see large statues of Jesus with open arms, looking very European.
Mm.
And one thing I know about African people and especially Caribbean people, once they believe in Christianity, you can't get them to denounce it. It's hard. They die
Mm,
hard.
mm,
They die with it. Oh, they
mm.
die with it. And those people are over there screaming and shouting, praying and dancing. And to them, the G is he's white. He's a white European.
Exactly.
Nobody over there white, but this goddamn what's wrong with us?
You know, I need you to roll back because when you when you made the connection between Ford Motor Company, the rubber was going for their tires. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got a lot of rubber over there.
Right.
Have you ever seen? Let me stop sharing my screen. Go ahead. Let me pull up something for you.
Okay.
Yeah, he was killing them wholesale, man. The stuff that Leopold was doing. Let me see, King. You've never seen the pictures?
No.
Okay, hold on.
No.
Oh
I
yeah, he was brutal.
I didn't. I never even knew that Ford had anything to do with that.
Yeah, he was brutal. Let me grab this picture right here. Um, Africa is full of resources.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of resources. And so, they don't want to let me get it. No problem. Let me see. Do me a favor. Because you better with sharing your screen, right?
Yeah, I'm good with
Okay,
it.
so what I want you to do, go ahead and share your screen and you're gonna go to Google
Okay.
and just when you get to Google,
Uh-huh.
you just want to type in his name. Type in King Leopold, Leopold. And
Okay.
then go ahead and put King Leopold into your Google search, Leopold. And then I want you to click images and watch and be amazed. Okay, click images. And now scroll down until you see the pictures of African people missing arms and legs. Are you on Google or are you? Yeah, you are on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on going. Yours look different than mine. The one you see, the one by the little tiger, the little the tiger cartoon. Click on that one. Go no up. Go up. You see the little tiger, the little lion. Go up. Now go over. Go up and go over. Yeah, right there. Click on that one. Let me see what that one is. Yeah, that's good enough. You see those
Oh.
amputations?
Mm-hmm.
That is what he was doing. They have a picture of a man sitting on the porch mourning over a hand that was lost, whole hand cut off. He's just sitting there looking at the damn hand crying. And this is, and Christopher Columbus did the same thing. As soon as he washed ashore in America, he realized that the people were generous, they were kind, they were very giving, you know, and they received him very well. And the first thing Columbus did, he kidnapped these people and turned them into slaves, working to mine gold. And if they didn't bring back enough gold, he would amputate parts of their body.
Mm.
And they came with dogs that were trained to kill, and they would feed some of these body parts to. They had a human meat market. And so if you were a conquistador and you came to America with your dogs, you could go to the human meat market and buy a hand, a foot, a thigh, a head for your dog, because they
Mm.
were trained to consume human flesh.
Mm.
Hmm. There's so many pictures like this with Leopold, and they have a documentary too. They have a documentary on this, the terror that he reigned on African people, and yet and still, after all of this horrific tragedy, we are still holding on to their belief system. That's a psychosis.
mm,
That is a mental psychosis.
mm. Wow.
It's a mental psychosis to hold on to some, and this is, yeah, they were very brutal to our people, and they were doing it to children. If you scroll down, you'll see they were doing it to grown men, to young children. They were doing it with no anesthesia,
Mm,
no anesthesia whatsoever. Your pictures are different than mine. You may want to put in search amputation or something like that. Yeah, there's one on the end right there. By you see where our logos are. Pull that one up. I think he's holding a hand. You see, yeah, he is holding. Is there a way for you to click on it and make it larger? Because he's holding a hand in his hand. They're
mm.
holding hands. That's somebody's hand.
Oh, wow, that is. Both of them got a hand in their hand.
Yes, that's somebody's hand that was chopped
Oh,
off
my
with no
God.
anesthesia. The
Mm,
agony, the agony, you can bleed to
mm,
death. And you know what's so crazy? Some people probably did bleed to death, but the fact that some were still alive and they took photos of the amputations,
mm,
can you imagine? I know you can't imagine the pain that they
mm,
went through. You would think that as we go through our family lineage, that it will be passed down to us to stay the hell away from these people and to see them for this is what Elijah Muhammad is talking about when he says the white man is the devil. Because
mm.
only a devil and a demon. You just made me think of something. Maurice, I had two dreams, and anytime you dream of the same thing twice, you better believe it's 100% for sure. Because when spirits show you something and he show it to you again, it's confirmation. It's 100%. It is what it is. And I never forget, I had these two dreams.
Mhm.
I'm going to combine them to just give you the gist of it. There is an evil spirit that's locked away in a room. In the first dream, it was in the back of a house. In the second dream, it was in upstairs. And this spirit is unlike anything. If you take every horror film that has ever been created in Hollywood, you know how we see these movies like Jason, Friday the 13th,
Right.
Saw,
Mm,
all these movies where people get hostile, the movie Hostel.
mhm,
If you take every horror film and every gruesome thing that you can imagine and put it into a spirit, that is what I saw. And it's being contained, it's being confined inside of a room, and it is powerful. The only thing that's stopping that spirit from being released is a bigger spirit that's more powerful, that is the divine creator of the universe. And this spirit wants to get out, but it can't because it's being confined. If it gets out, I don't see how anybody on earth is going to be able to survive, because the only thing this spirit wants to do is kill,
mm.
kill. It is evil. And I always get shaken up when I think about that dream, because there is an energy in the universe that when it is unleashed, we're not going to be able to stand through this shit. And we still don't want to wake up to understand, like Elijah Muhammad said, who we are, who they are, and who our God is.
Exactly.
Because if I'm your mother and I'm loving you, caring for you, feeding you, teaching you, and you forsake me for another who a piece of shit, I want your head on the platter. You ain't gonna play with me too long.
Mm-mm.
Now I'm gonna give you a chance to come on back and apologize and get your shit together. but don't play with me too long
Mm.
because it's going to be hell to pay. And I do believe that our God is tired of waiting because he's been waiting a long time for us to wake up and we just won't. And that's
Mhm.
why I believe a lot of us are going to die. I've seen it already. I've seen it in the spiritual realm. We died thinking that somebody's going to come save us. And everybody who's sounding the alarm is crazy.
Exactly.
We the psychotic ones that need to be on medication.
Mhm.
Okay. Keep believing that. Keep on believing that.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, but this is what Leopold did in the Congo. And they're still raping and robbing people in the Congo today. It used to be Congo with a K. But you know what white people like to do? When they take possession of something, they change it. So now it's Congo with a C. So when you see Congo with the C, you know that's the European mindset.
Mm,
When you see Congo with a K, that's the historical indigenous Congo that has, that's of the past.
mm,
But
mm.
Congo with a C, that's the European mindset that is under the that's under the umbrella of white supremacy.
Mm, mm, mm.
And we have to be very careful because Catholic means universal. So what
Right.
they want is the universal religion. They want all of us to believe in this bullshit. They
Mm,
want all of us to buy into this bullshit.
mm, mm, mm.
And we simply cannot.
Do you know whether or not the Congo had a revolt? Did they try to kill these crackers or what? They just
I know when these Congolese when they were expelled out, they said they expelled out 30,000. 30,000 were sent over to America, and there were some slave rebellions where they killed a lot of white people. A lot of the Africans were killed, but they led a revolt
mhm,
and they did kill a lot of white people. But in
mm,
Congo, I'm not sure. I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. That's something that we can investigate.
right.
But this is a part of their story and their history.
Mm,
And they still haven't got their shit together right now because, as you just read, a large majority of the people have embraced Christianity.
mm, mm, mm,
They've embraced it. I was talking to one of my family members. She's a Catholic. And
mm.
I said, why is this? Why I say everybody in here black and y'all got a goddamn a white pastor?
Oh wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Everybody in the damn Catholic church is black and they got a white pastor. And so I don't know if they went and mentioned it to the congregation, but now they have a black priest. I guess that it got in the airway.
Right, right.
So okay, we just gonna pacify the people. We don't want them to get out of control. Just go ahead and put a black priest and just keep it going.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because that I say that's their plantation shit. I say he looked like a slave master. Y'all look dumb sitting up under this white man. What can the white man tell you?
Mm.
Who, and then they sworn to celibacy. Now she told me that a lot of these priests are allowed to get married, but historically, and many of those priests, they swear to celibacy. They claim they don't get married, but they having sex.
Sure.
Oh, they having sex because she was telling me, oh, the priest, he'll drink a beer. Okay, so if he
Right.
drink one beer, he gonna drink some damn liquor. And when you get that liquor up in you, you started feeling real freaky. Don't play with me.
Mhm,
Get
mhm,
you some good liquor up in you.
mm, mm, mm.
But it's time to turn the lights out
Mhm,
and blow out the candles
mm, mm, mm.
and put in work.
I wonder, do you think any of the priests ever raped a nun?
Now I heard they have sex though because they say a lot of those nuns got pregnant and had abortions. They was finding them goddamn babies buried behind churches.
Wow.
These are people with sexual urges. They get hot and wet just like everybody else. They need to stop. We are human beings. That's human nature. So to eat, I wouldn't even want to be under the tutelage of somebody who, like, why are you swearing yourself to celibacy? It ain't that deep and it ain't that serious.
Right.
If you want to abstain for certain reasons because you just don't want to be a hoe, or you just don't want to be a womanizer, or you want to focus on your lesson or your work and improve yourself, because sometimes you just need to cut back to improve yourself. But saying that you're going to abstain from that your entire life, that's not human.
Right. Right.
Yeah, they sit up under there with them damn white priests and
That's just that is sickening. Wow. I never, because I knew that they were doing the rubber. I didn't know they was cutting people's hands off and stuff. But I knew Leopold was after the rubber, but it never dawned on me that he was getting the rubber and then sending it to American manufacturing places.
Well, first of all, the Industrial Revolution started in Europe. So whatever, with all these new inventions, especially with transportation was a major invention because it allowed people to travel, because
Right.
most people lived and worked in their immediate community. So now you have another source of transportation that can get you there faster. And so the need for rubber was abundant. So you're going to go straight to the source.
Right.
See, whenever the white man wants something, he want what he want when he want it. There's no waiting. I want it and I want it now. And remember, we disposable. You do what I say or you die. And you had more Congolese than you had Europeans.
Exactly.
You had more, man, I would have put the call out.
Exactly.
I would have put the call out.
Yeah.
Because I understand you got guns, but after your ammunition is done.
Exactly.
It's man, look, some of us gonna have to take the bullet. Some of us gonna have to be a human sacrifice.
Yes.
Or we're gonna have to be a human sacrifice. But when all the ammunition run out, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Because it's more of us here. They got to bring their ass over here to do what they do.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what, you in another tribe or another village? Mount up. Let's go. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate. Yeah. The Million Man March. I was looking at pictures of the Million Man March. I was looking at pictures of the 1965 Mardi Gras. If we got so many of us, there's no excuse for us. There's no excuse for another black man and another black woman to die at the hands of a white supremacist. It's too many of us.
Right.
Like, we supposed to shut down. We ain't going to work today. We're not sending our children to school. Don't look for me. I will not be there. We got business in St. Louis. We got business to handle in New York. We got business to handle in Florida. They already know. You do something to one of them, we're going to shut down for the whole 2 weeks until we get justice. Exactly. Our way. Did you see in Ohio where some white supremacists, they were dropping leaflets?
Yes.
And so you had the black people who were forming militias. Yeah.
Yep.
They won't stop. They just bold in their bullshit.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then you want to cover your face. You so quick to put on your white cape and cover your face. So quick to put on your little black shirt, black jeans, and your little skeleton mask and hide your face. And go into somebody else's community to reign terror because you white.
Right.
And then they're talking about, oh, well, it was not, they didn't break any laws and we have to investigate. No, it's they were intimidating people. That's a form of intimidation, especially the history behind who they are.
Exactly.
It should be no goddamn conversation. Your ass shouldn't have been here.
Mm-hmm.
And so one reporter, she was like, how does this make you feel, like, to know that you all are forming a militia? And the black man said, man, I ain't never felt safer in my whole life.
Exactly.
Now I feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they will not stop. They just won't. They don't know how to stop.
Exactly.
They just, it's something in them. They don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
Innately, it's something in them that makes them feel that they have to always be killing people, bullying people, hurting people, taking from people, robbing people, lying to people. They cannot be trusted.
Never.
Never.
Mm.
Look, now where I am, when white people call my phone, I feel so good hanging up on them. This white man called me today. I don't know. I'm supposed to be on the no call registry. This white man called me today to sell me something. I hung up in his goddamn face. I thoroughly enjoyed that moment. Because what can you as a white man call and sell to me?
Right.
Why the fuck are you so bold to come in my neighborhood and knock on my door and try to solicit something to me when I can't even put a goddamn pinky toe in your neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
But you can come knock on my door and try to sell me something, and you really are so confident that I will buy it.
Right.
And you white, and you wouldn't buy shit from me, not even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
They should not be comfortable to even come on our porch to solicit anything from us.
Exactly. Exactly.
They should already know the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. It's nothing that because when they do it, what they really want is to steal my property.
Exactly.
Because that's what they're doing. All of the things they trying to sell, they look for people such as myself in my financial situation, and they single me out with trying to sell me something. So they think that I'm not gonna read the contract or read the paperwork or read the fine print. And when I sign my name, the bottom line is, now you stole my house, and I'm just a dumbass black woman out on the street. Game recognized game. Let me tell you something. Before I leave my house, I'm gonna kill everybody.
I know that's right.
Before these crackers, if you crackers out there listening, let me tell you something right motherfucking now. Play with me and we all gonna die. I'm not leaving this bitch alive. Because if I can't live in this house, you can't either. Understand that. Understand that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Since they always want to listen to people fucking conversation, put that shit in the algorithm. God damn it. Don't play with me.
Exactly.
Goddamn they swindle the goddamn Native Americans out of shit. They swindle us out of shit. They're swindlers. They're professionals. What did Malcolm X say? Why the fuck is we always talking about, oh Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do? He said they experts at what they do.
That's right. That's
They
right.
know. I don't know how to tie no goddamn rope. Do you know how to tie a rope around somebody's neck and hang their ass from a tree? I don't know how to do that.
No.
How do they know?
They got good in practice at it.
Good. How the fuck do they know how to dress a goddamn piece of wood to burn in your yard so beautifully? If you want to see a real barbecue, you got to go to a white person barbecue. Them motherfuckers good at starting fires. So they know how to start fires.
Yep.
They could cook a black man better than they can a goddamn chicken. They can roast us better than they can a pig. But forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. How in the hell they don't know what they do with these all white juries that's acquitting people of crimes that they did commit?
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. That's why I say perfect slave making religion. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Mm-mm. Can't have it. Can't have it. You see and I want to say peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for joining us as we completed chapter 2 today. So we'll be going into chapter 3 on next Tuesday. But Emil has a question for you, Maya. Did you see it? You want me to read it?
Go ahead.
It says, peace and blessings, Maya. I have a very serious question. The room I'm sleeping in now, my senses and intuition feels is infested with ghosts and restless spirits. I cannot sleep because of this. I've been only getting 2 to 4 hours of sleep. How do I overcome this? By the way, I'm the only one sleeping in this room, and all of the energy I'm feeling feels very evil and frightening. Like I said, it's causing me sleep deprivation for several nights.
So, one thing I know is that when you are on the right path, we have spiritual forces that will come to throw you off. And they work through a spirit of fear, but you can't be gripped by that. Like when I was talking about the person earlier who was assaulted, when I was counseling her, I realized that a spirit of fear tried to grip me, but I had to stand on what I believe, which is you deserve justice. That person needs to be judged for what they did to you. Even your mother needs to be dealt with for that because she knew he was doing it and it was wrong. So I would say to whatever it is that you're going through, know, what you know, and stand on that. Don't let any spiritual forces come against you to put a spirit of fear in you. Clear your mind and know who you are and what you believe. And speak to those forces and say, I'm just going to stand on what's right. I'm powerful. I'm righteous. God loves me. And if you want to fight, I'm here for it.
Mm,
You got to really be fearless. I had to learn that to be fearless, to not operate with a spirit of fear because it'll grip you and you won't be able to function. Just like, when people do like let's say an adult that's assaulting a child. Like there was a pastor and he was a stepfather. The stepfather was sexually assaulting his daughter. And so not only was he sexually assaulting his daughter, he allowed the pastor to do it too. So
mm,
between the two of them, they had sex with this little girl about 100 times.
mm,
And they threatened her so many times to kill her mother and family members. They were putting that fear in her so that she would not go and, you know, alert police. And so that's what these spiritual energies will do. They will try to come against you and put fear inside of you so that you cannot function and continue on your life path and your life journey. But you got to shake that off and just be straight G code with that shit because they can't hurt you, but they can make you hurt yourself.
mm,
So if I were you, I would clean. And I'm going to tell you one thing I know, spirit does not like filth. And if you live in a house or your room or an environment that is filthy, you invite those spirits in and you give them a place to dwell. So my spirit hates filth. My house has to be meticulously clean at all times. I don't even bring shoes in my house. If you wear shoes in your house, you need to stop. Take your shoes and leave them outside or bring them inside right by your door and put them inside of a shoe box, but do not walk shoes. throughout your house because you're bringing energy in with you that is very harmful. So clean your space, keep your house clean, get your mind right. You got to have a warrior mindset. You got to have a warrior mindset because that's just what I've adopted, and it's been working for me. Like, how I'ma fear you when I can't even see you?
Mm.
You know, what am I supposed to fear when I know I'm a righteous woman of God? You know, who the fuck I'm gonna be afraid of when I know I got God on my side?
That's right.
Let's go. Dead or alive, spirit of goddamn flesh. Let's rock and roll. Like, I'm on that type of shit for real.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've been through the fire. I've been through a lot. And I know that God is on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have to fear anybody or anything. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
That's
Clean
right.
your space. Clean your space. Get up and clean your space. Get your mind right. Don't walk no shoes in your house. You know, toughen up. And when you don't give them a place to exist, they'll leave. I'm telling you. I've heard spirits talk. I've heard spirits talk. They had a powerful influence over me, but I gave them a place to dwell and I couldn't get rid of them. As much as I tried to get rid. See, we are spiritual people having a physical experience. We as indigenous people, we can't get away from that, no matter if you believe it or not. We are able to have supernatural experiences that a lot of people simply don't understand. And I remember I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and I hated it, but I
Mm.
did not know how to stop. I tried to stop and it would come right back. And not only did like when we allow spirits to come into our environment, the more you fall prey to them, they will bring more to inhabit your space. So now that weight is even heavier. And I
Mm.
would always pray. I would be like, God, I was like, God, I want to stop, but I don't know how. I mean, it got so bad that I started getting sores on the side of my tongue. That cancer was starting to kick in, but I did not know how to stop smoking. And I used to cry about it and pray about it. And I was honest about it. I was like, God, I tried everything, and I had tried patches, I tried medication, I tried going cold turkey, and nothing worked. Like, I had to have that pack of cigarettes a day with some liquor.
Mm.
And but my prayers were very sincere. My intentions was very sincere. And I remember this was in 2011. And I was going on vacation on a Friday. I had 10 days off. I had a 10-day vacation. And I remember I left work that day. I came home on a Friday. I took a shower. I got in bed and I woke up 10 days later.
Mm.
I literally slept for 10 days.
Mm.
And when that Friday, when I got home and I took a shower, I was praying because I really wanted to stop smoking. And all of a sudden, my face began to contort like I was in a horror film.
Mm.
And I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid. I mean, I saw my face twitching and contorting like I was in like, what's that? Remember the little girl, the exorcism?
Uh-huh.
My face
Mm.
was contorting like that. And the spirit spoke through me and it began to cry. See, that same spirit that had power over me, it had so much power over me and it was making my life miserable. When enough was enough, and I stood in my shower and my face was contorting like I was a goddamn exorcist demon, the
Mm.
spirit came out of me and that spirit said, but I don't want to leave.
Ooh.
It didn't want to leave, but it was time for that spirit to go. And I sat on the edge of my bed. I went to sleep and I woke up 10 days later and I never smoked since. And that was 2025.
Mm.
So you can't function and you can't let them even no, you're gonna sleep good because you say you're gonna sleep good. It's gotta be what you say is gonna be. It's whatever you say. So you're going to have to work on finding your way out, and what you can't do yourself, then you got to go up into the spiritual realm with a sincere heart and ask spirit to do it for you. And that's just what I suggest that he does. You can even smudge your room, because he's I think because he had a video, he was saying, I'm not black. No, he said, MOA, I was watching his channel today,
Mm,
and he said he knows who the original people are.
right.
And he said he knows that we're gonna go back to the original people, in which he is not a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sincerity, I don't know how much weight that holds in the spiritual realm, but to me, it does hold a lot of weight. And I would definitely say this. One day, Spirit told me why Hispanic people are so successful. It blew my mind, because a lot of Hispanic people, they practice Santeria. Santeria is Ifa. It's just they use white deities. They take our black deities and they turn them into white saints, right? So they're
Mm-hmm.
practicing our spiritual system, just in the white sense of the word. And Spirit told me, say, you know why they're so successful economically? Because they practice the system. So what am I saying by that? They're acknowledging our gods, and we're not acknowledging our gods. They're
Mm.
acknowledging our spiritual systems while we're not doing it. And like I told you, our gods are waiting on us. They love us. They want to protect us. They want to defend us. They want to. But would you fight for somebody that's not fighting for you?
Nope.
If you in a relationship with somebody and they show you that they're not interested in you, why should you show interest in them? And they too busy loving on the white man's God, giving them money, as opposed to putting it into their own communities. So
Mm.
it's things that you can do, Emma. It's just that you're gonna have to find your power. And I look at them spirits like they was fucking with my child. And when you fuck with my child, it's gang.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Everybody can get it. Ain't nobody off the hook with me.
Yes.
Everybody can get it. Everybody, hey, I found my four times grandfather. I found him in the historical records, and he took a plantation owner to court. And in the court records, my four times grandfather said the man tried to gouge his eyes out, and he shot at him and tried to kill him.
Mm.
And this was in 1868, I think. And so I found out the man's name. I found out where the man was buried. I went and spit all over that goddamn man's headstone.
Mm. Mm.
Don't
Mm.
fucking play with my granddaddy, goddamn it. Don't play with my goddamn granddaddy. I know he died a long time ago, but bitch, you can still get it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Dead or alive. Everybody ain't nobody off the hook. And I would say, okay, granddaddy, I got him. I was spitting all over that cracker grave.
Mm. Mm.
Fucking
Mm.
play with me.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So you got the power. You just got to use it. And don't be afraid, no matter who or what it is. You're going to die like a warrior. You're going to die like a coward. You choose. It's up to you. And that's
Mm.
my answer.
Excellent, excellent. William Bell says that a firefighter was arrested for sharing pictures of the twin dead bodies in Georgia.
The
Uh,
two black boys.
yeah. Uh-huh.
He probably did it.
And I was listening to the family the other night, and, I kept just saying, how in the hell could they be lured away and they not call y'all? It's like, how did that even happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's crazy.
Hold on, Maurice. Emma says, but the place I'm sleeping in is a military installation called barracks. Many sailors have committed suicide in these habitations over the years, so their spirits are lingering on in this room. And I do believe that, because I've heard about that and I've seen that. A lot of people who die A lot of them have not. Well, I don't want to get too spiritual for this show, but I will say this: it's a good thing that you are aware of it. You are aware of the situation and what's going on. So now you got to program your mind to what you want to do. You're going to have to go into meditation. You're going to have to learn how to go into the spiritual realm and be a survivor. You're going to have to have courage. You're going to have hope. You're going to have therapy. You may have to watch what you eat. You're going to have to speak life into your life and your situation until you get the fuck about this man military and hopefully never have to go back again. You want to fight for your life, so fight for your life. You're going to have to fight for your life. You're going to have to speak your life into existence that you are going to survive. And you're not going to succumb to this foolishness. You see that white soldier that set himself on fire. And why did he do it? He said, because the evils that America has done. These white people are glitching. Let me tell you something. In the end time, white people are we're going to see some stuff that we've never seen before. They glitching. Why would a white man take his own daughter and torture her for 22 hours? She was a black girl. He had an interracial relationship, and he has this biracial daughter that he takes her hostage for 22 hours. He brutally rapes her and then slit her throat. What would cause that to happen? Why are these soldiers committing suicide? What are they seeing? Because they going to these countries, killing people, raping people, doing all kind of manners of evil, and it's eating their ass up alive. You're going to have to find your power and fight for your life. It ain't no way around that. Ain't no magical solution. You're going to have to fight for your life. I want you to look up Supernova Sloan. Emma, I'm going to give you this name. I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me type it right. I want you to look this person up and see, can you contact him and let him counsel you. He was in the military. He's done several tours. He's in a situation just like you, where a lot of people in the military have committed suicide. He's seen bodies stacked high with flies and blood and deaf children, men, women, and children. And he has a beautiful mind and a beautiful spirit. I want you to look him up and contact him and get some counseling, because he's going to help you through your situation. He understands where you've been, and I think he's better able to assist you with what you need to survive. Let me know that you see his name, Emil. Just give me a thumbs up and let me know that you see the name that I put in the chat. If not, I'm going to come to your channel and I'm going to type it in there for you. He must be stepped away. But you, Maurice, you were saying?
Yeah, I'll put it in, because me and him be sharing messages, so I'll also message that to him right now.
He said he don't see it. Okay. He said he does not see the name. I wonder why. You know, sometimes that happens. Even when I'm on your Sunday show, I'll type something and it won't show up in the chat. A lot of times that happens.
Oh, wow.
They mad because I said they can't steal my house. Yeah, so go ahead and look him up, Supernova Sloan. You're going to fall in love with him. He's a beautiful person with a beautiful spirit. He's seen war. He's been in war. He's been in villages with bodies piled high. And he always talks about how, you know, he came out with a clean mind and a pure heart. And I love him. He's an amazing person. His mother is Queen of Four. She was connected to Dr. Sadie. And so you're going to find a lot of strength and knowledge from them. You know, and then I could also say, like, on his channel, on Emma's channel, he was giving commentary about some things that people said to him. Don't let people distract you. You know who you are. One thing, I don't try to proselytize to people. What, you understand? Like, when I first denounced Christianity, I used to want to talk to people so that they could, you know, come into this knowledge and truth and have a better life. I don't do that anymore. I don't try to prove my point to nobody. So stop trying. Don't be trying to prove what you know and who you are to individuals that's never going to accept you or believe like you. Spend your time working on you and getting you together and getting you healthy. Because people not gonna see they don't care about your struggle. So you're gonna be fine. Yes, Supernova Sloan. That's right. Yes, you're right. Look them up. And Maurice, you were saying?
I don't forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, this was nice.
Yes, definitely. We went over 2 hours and 34 minutes. But it was good. It was good. We're gonna go ahead and move to closing comments. You want to go ahead and give your closing comments?
Nah, I think I've said enough. We learned a lot tonight. It's good to share thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you teach me, I teach you. We share
Mm-hmm.
information, we learn, we grow. You know, it's an amazing experience to be able to have a conversation like this, because you really can't have conversations like this with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, or you the angry black woman, you the angry black man, or you crazy, or you know, it's very limited. The circle is very small, so it's good to be able to have conversations like this to get it out with somebody who understands and have a like mind, because it pretty much lets you know that you're not in this fight by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. 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 And again, I can't thank you enough for wanting to do this program. You are the head of the program. You spearheaded. It wasn't for you, we wouldn't be on here doing it. So I thank you over and over and over again. I want to thank everybody that came out and participated, watched in the chat, talked, gave suggestions. And we do this program a little different than we would do any normal program. We don't show the comments. We keep it up because we want the spirit to flow. Um, and that there'll be no distractions. But we do see y'all in the comments and we do acknowledge and thank y'all for coming and participating, because this definitely is a labor of love. It's best to try to save as many of our people as we can. Those who are, who want to be saved, who want to know about what is the fall of America, who want to know about who is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what was he talking about, what makes him so important. Um, and this is a good way to figure it out. This is a good way to get that information that we're sharing. So again, we thank you all for coming, and we look forward to seeing you again on this program next Tuesday, 6 p.m. or 6:15. And definitely, we love you. We love you. We love you. We love you.
Well, thank you very much. But before you go, what did you say about the twins? Because that kind of blew over my head with this.
That a
What?
fighter was arrested for sharing the pictures of the twins' dead bodies on social media. And my thing was, how did they get to where they were? If they were supposed to be going to the airport to catch a flight, how did they wind up in a town that they knew nothing about? Is just really mind blowing. But it reminds me of Danye Jones, where he was abducted from his home and brung back dead, and they hung him up in his own backyard in St. Louis.
Donald Jones?
Danye Jones.
Donye Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His mother is Melissa. What's Melissa's last name? Melissa McKinney, I believe.
They haven't stopped lynching us. And the fact that he showed the pictures, because that's a part of their strategy, because they were sending those postcards through the United States Postal Service. You know, when they lynched our black brothers, they would They would pounce on the bodies to get pieces of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are you burning and castrating and watching our family members sizzle like bacon, when the fire is over, you go with your saws and your scissors and your clippers to take pieces of the flesh as a token.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he showed the pictures is because that's just a modern day version of a postcard. They
Mm.
want people to see their trophy just like they kill a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Go kill a bear and pose.
Exactly.
They want us to see. They want us to see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to see it. How, like, you a damn firefighter. You know you wrong for that.
Exactly.
But you did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what word that is? Clandestine.
Mm.
That's clandestine. That's a very evil person. When you know you're wrong, you don't want it done to you, but you do it anyway. That's a nasty, evil individual. And they probably more than likely has something to do with it. Were the firefighters black or white?
White.
So you already know. Let me
Yep.
tell you before we go. Many, 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 many years ago, for those of you that don't know, Digger is my spiritual name. Nobody on this earth gave me that name. That name was given to me by spiritual forces one night when I was crying my ass off. And digger just means that I will dig into some information and investigate to try to find out the truth. And so, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. What I was gonna damn, I forgot what the fuck was I was gonna say. It was something about these white people. It was something about these white people. But
Mm.
Maurice, they evil. And
Mm-hmm.
you know that.
Most definitely.
You know they evil.
Most
And they
definitely.
damn they just shit, I forgot. I forgot. That happens sometime. That happens sometime. I'll remember it for another show, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what they do. No, I know what I was gonna say. So years ago, I found this website. I don't remember the name of the website, but it's a private website,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to prove, or I can't say prove, but you have to make them think that you're white in order to join in the club.
Okay.
And so because white people are very dumb, they're not like you said at the beginning of the show, they're not smart. These motherfuckers not smart. They just take our shit, put their name on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
That's right.
they're really ignorant, stupid motherfuckers. But somehow I had them believe that I was a white man who was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I had done doctored up all kind of shit, making them think that I was a white, rich, successful doctor. This was a long time ago when social media and the internet was just coming out. So, people was green back then. And I literally got into the club. And it was a virtual club. So nobody saw each other's faces. And everybody probably had alias names, some shit like that. But they really thought I was white and let me into the goddamn club. And it was a bunch of white people who were saying some of the most heinous things about us.
Mm.
Not only were they saying heinous things about us, but they were showing pictures as well. And when you see articles and reports about us dying horrifically, being shot and killed by the police, or being sexually assaulted, or some type of, freak accident, they would show pictures of it and celebrate it and say horrible things about us. And I'm black as hell in the group sitting there watching them share information, talk about us. And some of these people I did investigate, and they were who they said they were. You'll be surprised.
Mm.
Members of white society that go to work in hospitals, in police stations, in public schools, and they were saying horrible things about us and sharing these horrible images. I would never forget that experience. And they sit up in people's classroom teaching black children, riding around in police cars, asking you for your vote, but yet they go into these secret clubs and they celebrate our demise, our death, our struggle, and our frustrations. They can't be trusted.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. We got work to do, that's for sure. That is for sure. All right, family, we thank y'all. We thank y'all. We thank y'all. Please like, share, and if you haven't, subscribe so we can keep the stuff in the algorithm and keep on pushing our message. As we say, you kill the nigga in you, I'm going to kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Love you, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.
So you better get the message and get it straight. You're gonna need some bridge work. It's simple as that. Because we're living in judgment. We're living in implementation.